I have made clear to the president, both in our private conversations and our public conversations, about the fact that I believe that ICE is a rogue agency. It's a reckless one. It's one that delivers nothing towards the furthering of the cause of public safety. And I've also been public about my belief that ICE is an entity that should be abolished.
Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! That's Zohran Mamdani in New York. He then decapitated a Jewish child with a sword. That was kind of weird. He doesn't like Led Zeppelin. He's not a Led Zeppelin guy. You know he's not. He loves the jihad. He grew up in Uganda. We should deport him. Strip him of his citizenship and deport him to Uganda or wherever the hell he wants to go. Whatever beep hole he wants to go back to or go forward to. Just get out of here. The Democrat Party is the enemy within. They are the fifth column living among us. They love a parade, though, don't they? They love these rallies and marches and chanting and singing songs and well, you are all individuals. Yes, we are all individuals. They're like Monty Python. If everything on Monty Python was illegal, was insane. There was a John Cleese thing that we shared the other day. I don't think I read it on the air. John Cleese making fun of who was that? It was kind of a funny one. I'll see if I can find that John Cleese from Monty Python. Because the Democrats have animated Monty Python satire from the 1970s and. But let me share with you, because the Democrats love a parade, and they love their no kings. Of course, they're the no kings. Yes, fascist. No kings. Yes, fascist. They are the fascists. They call everybody else fascist, and then they invite murderer, illegal aliens in to throw 83-year-old Air Force veterans in front of New York City subway trains and murder them. And they bring illegal aliens in to rape and murder mothers of 5 on hiking trails in Maryland. And they bring in illegal aliens to shoot 18-year-old college students in the head walking on the beach in Chicago. And they really don't care. But they'll turn George Floyd into a household name and a national hero, and have a national holiday named for George Floyd, a career criminal junkie who died of a heart attack while resisting arrest. The Democrats have a lot of mental issues. Now we got these Chinese siblings, the brother and sister, with their improvised explosive devices planted outside of MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa, Florida. And one of the Chinese sneaked out of the country, and they didn't even have to sneak. He just went and got on an airplane and left to the United States and went back to China. His sister is in the slammer, in the Hoosgow, in the can. But never mind that. In the meantime, the Democrats, they like more crime. They really do. But here's the Democrats in Richmond, Virginia. Get a whiff of this one. The headline: 2 anti-Trump protests will take place downtown Saturday. This is Richmond, Virginia. That's the capital of the Confederacy, when the Democrats started a civil war so they could keep their slaves and their plantations and their bullwhips. The Democrat Party. They're the party of Jefferson Davis and the Confederate States of America. But Richmond was their capital, and I think the Democrats are moving in on Richmond again. They might be breaking away for the next civil war that the Democrats will create. But the headline: 2 anti-Trump protests will take place downtown Richmond, Virginia on Saturday. Organizers disagree over who's to blame. And I saw this morning. I'm like, what do you mean blame? And so there are 2 protests and somebody's to blame? They're mentally ill. They're all mentally ill. And but somebody's to blame. Somebody's got to be punished. Someone must self-immolate, I think is probably the way. So 2 anti-Trump protests, Democrats, mentally ill, violently, criminally insane, will take place downtown Richmond, Virginia on Saturday. That's tomorrow. Organizers disagree over who's to blame. That's an idiotic headline, but okay. The 3rd edition of the national protest, dubbed No Kings. They support Ayatollahs. They're definitely on the side of the Ayatollah. And the Gayatollah especially, they really love the Gayatollah, because not only is he totalitarian, he's gay. So they, what's not to like about that for Democrats? They got that going. Oh, they also like King Frederick the 10th of Denmark, and they will protect to the death his right to maintain the colonial holding of Greenland, which was taken over by white men on wooden ships long ago when their king sent them. And their king today, who took over from the Queen about 2 years ago, they seem very nice. They seem like very nice people. The Danish King Frederick X, and they might call him Frederick X, because, they like to make everybody Latinx and Malcolm X. I like to call him Malcolm the 10th because I enjoy Roman numerals. But here they are. The Democrats with their No Kings protests, when they actually support kings, they just don't support the United States. They support tyrannical religious thugs like the Ayatollah, who slaughter tens of thousands of their own people, as they just did in Iran. And they support King Frederick X. They just don't support the duly elected American president because they didn't vote for him and because they're violently, criminally insane, and mentally ill. So listen to they got two third edition of the No Kings rally taking place this weekend in Richmond. The two groups will host events with the moniker less than a mile from each other. Now, there's a No Kings rally over here, and there's a No Kings rally over here. And they're so disorganized because they're cross-dressing communists that they couldn't get together, even though they're on the same page protesting the same thing. But they're violently, criminally insane and socially incompetent. So they have two different rallies. But it gets better. Hang on. Because the movement, it's a movement. That's what it is, which encourages protesters to speak out against what it describes as the authoritarian policies of President Donald Trump. And they support the Ayatollahs in Iran over, and I've been playing it. Oh, I believe the Iranians, and the liberal on my TV show, the college professor at University of Maryland, Jason Nichols. Oh, I definitely believe the Iranians over Donald Trump. And then, who was it? We had the TV guy saying that he definitely agrees with the Iranians over Donald Trump because they're for authoritarian kings and monarchs.
Well, I tend to believe Iran more than I do Donald Trump.
That's crazy.
CIA director and Communist Party voter John Penitentiary Face Brennan definitely he supports and believes Iran over Trump because he literally voted for the Communist Party candidate for the presidency of the United States named Gus Hall. John Brennan did. And then Barack Hussein Obama made him the director of the CIA. And then he was one of the leaders of the charge of the Felonious 51 letter. They should all be in prison. They tampered in our presidential election best as they could with their, it has all the earmarks of Russian disinformation. He's a lion Sacagawea, a communist, fascist, and he's not on our side. But, yeah, they're with Iran. And now they support the Ayatollahs at their No Kings protests, right? And they support the King of Denmark, who's an actual European monarch with colonial holdings. And they support the colonial holding. We used to be a colonial holding, what is now the United States of America. We also had these idiots, the idiot liberal on my TV show the other night said, Christopher Columbus didn't discover America. And we need to destroy all the Columbus statues and things.
Columbus didn't find this land that we're on, so I think that's one thing.
Okay.
Who did? Who did? They're all mental. They really are. So they have two of these protests, the No Kings protest, and they have different organizers. This could start the next civil war. They could end up shooting each other. You might we should put ICE agents between them. No, we shouldn't. ICE agents should facilitate the clash. I think that'd be the way to go. So they have these two rallies in Richmond. But wait, we're not done. Because also tomorrow, and they got these ridiculous things, we invited 50501 to join us in our planning, said Booze Trotschel. Booze, Booze, is the first name of this woman, Booze. I'm guessing she's got a checkered history. Her name is Booze Trotschel. And one of the organizers of the No Kings thing, but they actually support kings. They just hate America. However, they opted to go a different direction. The 50501, you see, is with RVA. That's like an abbreviation for Richmond, Virginia. So there are two different groups, and Booze Trotschel So it's great that the people of Richmond are going to have a choice of going to the same rally in two different locations. You're all mentally ill. You don't know what you're talking about. They can, just my opinion, I could be right. They can march or they can attend a festival and participate in what we're trying to create, a joyous atmosphere that might cut down on the killings, but I wouldn't put money on that. So they just got it. I don't see a problem with people having two different ways to express their opinion to what's happening in our country. You're protesting the same thing at the same time in the same city, and you're so intolerant of each other that you're going to do it in different places. But wait, because now they've really infuriated. And by the way, a separate interview, there's somebody named Lai C. That is, the first name is spelled L-Y, and the last name is just the letter C, with a period, because said the situation is the opposite. We reached out to them 3 separate times to have a meeting between our two leaderships. This is the Soviet Union, it really is, and they're the Bolsheviks leading up to the revolution. And they declined to meet with us each time, so they hate each other, they're angry with each other, they're mentally ill. But wait, it gets better, because here's the next headline. Timing overlap with the big trans market. Wait a minute. Richmond ought to be fenced off. At this point, the Democrats have really taken over in Richmond, just like they did in the first American Civil War when their boy Jefferson Davis took over in Richmond, Virginia. Here's the timing overlap of the big trans. Speaking about the other protests, Lai C added that 50501 planners had concerns with RVA Indivisible's lack of inclusivity. What are you? So wait a minute. You got 2 different No Kings rallies and you're fighting each other. And they have Lai C and 50501 versus RVA's Indivisible. These are all different organizations, right? And RVA is presumably an abbreviation for Richmond, Virginia, and they have to abbreviate. And inclusivity, why is that? They said RVA, that would be RVA Indivisible, Richmond, Virginia Indivisible. Their festival conflicts with a previously planned event at the Carillon, a big bell tower, on Saturday, the big trans market. The big, not the little trans market. Wait a minute. A couple blocks away, there's the little trans market, and that's in conflict with the big trans market. So the big trans market, which celebrates local transgender communities. How many different transgender communities can they have in Richmond, Virginia? Boy, the Democrats really have taken over, and they're all cross-dressing now. It celebrates the big trans market, the local transgender communities, many transgender communities, plural, according to this, but they're conflicting with the 2 different groups that are rallying in Richmond at the same time to protest Trump and support Iran. And they're really unbelievable. They said organizers of the trans market, I'm going to guess there's going to be a lot of love going on there, huh? And a lot of monkeypox being spread at that thing. They said organizers of the trans market asked RVA Indivisible not to hold their event at the same time and added that the scheduling caused harm to Richmond's trans community. They're always being harmed, aren't they? They're always aggrieved. They are the aggrieved party. The aggrieved party of the first part wishes to express their grievance to the aggrieved party of the second part. And now here comes the trans community. You guys. Booz Trotchell. This is a separate article citing the same people, Lai C. and Booz Trotchell. Right? Booz Trotchell said even with the, quote, festival, end quote, designation, there would be speakers, chants, signs, and other protest components. I'm happy to hear that. She said some residents, particularly minorities, can feel concerned for their safety at marches given the potential for conflict. You guys go ahead and shoot each other. Go ahead and just shoot each other. Get the they're really, and what minorities can feel concerned for their safety at marches? Stop shooting each other. How about that? Would that make you feel better? That might be good. Don't shoot people with guns. And isn't it fun how they go around killing everybody and their illegals kill everybody, and there's never a pound sign campaign or a Black Lives Matter or a George Floyd movement. They're mentally ill. That's the only explanation. Also, Catherine Herridge, the news reporter, new files examined by law enforcement and intelligence analysts revealed Jeffrey Epstein allegedly acted as a go-between to block September 11th victims' families. What? From suing Saudi Arabia. Huh. So the Democrat fundraiser, Jeffrey Epstein, Democrat all the way, acting on behalf of Saudi Arabia and against 9/11 families in the United States of America, just in case there was any doubt as to whether he was a Democrat. Case closed.
Remember to wash your hands with soap and water and disinfect fetish gear, sex toys, and any fabrics after having sex.
The Democrat leader in the House of Representatives is a jihadi, an anti-American radical and extremist. He is Hakeem Jeffries. And listen to this. He came goose-stepping out to the cameras just a few minutes ago with his red guard goose-stepping next to him to not take any questions and to lie about the government shutdown.
Support this DHS deal?
We support reopening the parts of the Department of Homeland Security that Donald Trump and Republicans recklessly shut down. We support paying TSA agents. And we support ending the chaos at airports.
Do you think Congresswoman Sheila Jefferson McCormick should remain in the House?
That's it. He comes out. We support reopening the government that Donald Trump and the Republicans recklessly shut down, and then they sacrificed a baby. That was kind of weird, didn't you think? They impaled it on a steel pike in front of the Capitol and set it on fire. They're really some. Yes, sir. And then the reporter asked a question about this Democrat member of Congress, Sheila Cherfilis McCormick. And they're looking at an ethics hearing there for Democrat Congresswoman Sheila Cherfilis McCormick. She's just amazing stuff. A bipartisan committee chose to go forward with an ethics investigation, and the Democrat leader of the House refused to answer a question about it. But he just came out and lied. The Trump Republican shutdown of the government that they so recklessly inflicted. And then he firebombed, Reagan Airport, I think it was. Yeah, and this embattled lawmaker faces 5 decades in prison because she's corrupt as hell. Yeah, the fascists are marching on Washington tomorrow, too. We're at the peak of cherry blossom season down in the mall. Lots of, Japanese cherry blossom trees. I got them all over my neighborhood, the streets all over my neighborhood. And I was down by the mall yesterday, stuck in bumper-to-bumper traffic because of the cherry trees. And because in D.C. they don't know how to synchronize stoplights. It's a complete mystery to them. But we should go to the telephones. It's Friday, and we only have about a half an hour left to do radio. Let's go talk to the nice people. Well, all right, we won't get to the nice people yet. Right now, we'll go to Mike the Lib. Mike the Lib is on the line. Mike the Lib calling from Gainesville, Virginia. Mike the Lib, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hey, Chris.
Hi, Mike the Lib.
I now go by Retired Analyst Mike. That's my Substack.
You got a Substack now? You got to get your own show on MS-13 NBC?
No, I hope, but yes, I'm Retired Analyst Mike. Okay, you Retired Analyst Mike. Okay.
What did you analyze?
I analyzed our reverse Pearl Harbor attack on Iran.
You analyzed our reverse Pearl Harbor attack on Iran?
Yes, that's what we did.
We did a reverse Pearl. I thought like Hiroshima and Nagasaki were a reverse Pearl Harbor.
No. We basically launched a sneak attack against the Iranian leadership.
We should have announced it ahead of time.
Well, if you actually are going to war with somebody, you actually do that, Chris.
You tell them ahead of time. Let them know what you're going to do.
You actually tell them that you're actually going to war with them.
You're a military analyst?
You don't actually. No, you don't actually get them into negotiations, set up their leadership, thinking that they're going to be discussing the U.S. proposal, so Israel can decapitate their leadership. No, that's a reverse Pearl Harbor.
What's reverse about it? I'm confused. The sneak attack. Okay. You should. Pearl Harbor is a sneak attack, right?
No, Pearl Harbor was a sneak attack. So we did the same thing to Iran.
So that's not a reverse Pearl Harbor. That's a Pearl Harbor.
Yes,
huh?
No, we did it against them. It's a reverse.
I'm starting to understand how we got into that Iraq war.
Oh, well, Chris, we got into the Iraq War because Saddam Hussein told us he had WMD. We had a very high-placed source that told us that Saddam Hussein had WMD because Saddam Hussein said that. And but he wanted that message to go to the Iranians, not to go to the Americans.
He thought he could limit it to just going to the Iranians. And when he did stockpile all that yellow cake, right?
Bluff.
He stockpiled yellow cake that you would use.
Yellow cake wouldn't matter at all, Chris. There's about 10 more steps you have to do. Plus, you have to build a huge amount of centrifuges. Uh-huh. You have to then create a centrifuge cascade. You then have to be able to synchronize all the centrifuges. Uh-huh. Yellow cake is only the first step.
Uh-huh. Only the first step. It shows intent. So Iran definitely.
It doesn't show intent because it doesn't.
It doesn't because you've got yellow cake at home, right?
No. Chris, yellow cake is easily purchased. It can actually be used for
Home Depot?
For other type
gardening.
No, I'm talking about, Chris. We basically all the things that we were looking at that Saddam was building a nuclear program. Mm-hmm. Yes, he had some yellow cake. Great. The centrifuge.
Tons and tons of it. Warehouses full of it.
Components were not. But it doesn't matter. You can't make an atomic bomb just out of yellow cake.
I know, but it's one of the things that you would, if your goal is nuclear weapons. That's a clue.
Unless you build a heavy water reactor.
Well, listen.
The only way you can convert yellow cake, after processing it, mm-hmm. into a nuclear fissile material is to have a heavy water reactor because you don't need to have enrichment.
Well, hang on,
heavy water reactors.
Mike the Lib.
So there was no evidence of him ever building a heavy water reactor, Chris.
Mike the Lib. There was a nuclear facility there that we had bombed years earlier, but we don't need to relive the history.
No.
We don't need to relive the history of Iraq.
Israel bombed that reactor.
Yeah, you said you got to have a reactor.
Bombed the reactor, but
and it's true. Israel bombed it.
But at that time, Saddam was our ally because Ronald Reagan allowed him to use chemical weapons against Iran.
He wasn't our ally. And
yes, he was
Ronald Reagan didn't allow him to use chemical weapons against Iran.
Because he never did. There was no sanctions against Iraq.
That's not allowing him.
Weapons.
That's not allowing him.
That is allowing.
Let me say this, Mike. You're a Democrat. You're a Democrat.
Taking no action against a very immoral.
So he should have bombed him after Saddam Hussein.
No, at very least, we should have shut off any intelligence support that Ronald Reagan was giving to Iraq.
We were giving weapons. Ronald Reagan was right. That's right. Now
Ronald Reagan Reagan built up Saddam Hussein, and that's why Bush had to take him down.
That's why Bush had to take him down because Ronald Reagan built him up. Yeah, you're a career intelligence analyst with the Defense Intelligence Agency.
Absolutely, yes, I am.
Yeah, and all of that, and that's your history of the United States right there. Now, I feel that
it is. Yes, the entire world was against Iran during the Iran-Iraq War. They said nothing against Saddam Hussein using chemical weapons. That's why Iran never trusted the rest of the world because we allowed.
Iran never trusted the rest of the world.
Because Iran felt the rest of the world would come to their aid because Saddam Hussein invaded them, but they didn't.
Yeah, and
then when Saddam Hussein used chemical weapons, they said nothing. It was a violation.
You mean
international law to use chemical weapons?
You mean when Ronald Reagan took office and they released the hostages that they took under Jimmy? I'm talking under Jimmy Carter. I could behave now. I don't want to have to take away your cereal.
Fine.
Listen. We're talking about stuff. So Ronald Reagan took office. Jimmy Carter allowed the Ayatollahs to take over and expelled the Shah, and Jimmy Carter betrayed the Shah, who was an ally of the United States. And so this obviously uneasy relationship with the terrorist regime, the Islamic Revolution, they didn't earn the support of Ronald Reagan, and that makes sense. And I know that you agree with that. And then there was the old, our enemy's enemy is our friend, and in the Middle East, when Saddam Hussein was a foe to the new Islamist regime in Iran that had just emerged with a crime against humanity, taking over our embassy and all that stuff. But I got to tell you, this Pearl Harbor thing, and I feel it's very unfortunate that Saddam Hussein didn't have Barack Obama to back him up and send him billions and billions of dollars, because then Saddam Hussein
sent them their own money back.
Saddam Hussein, it's their own money back, and the plane loads. Now wait a minute. Why did we froze their assets? Because of they're taking over the embassy and taking hostages and being a criminal enterprise, and they had money in international banks, and all of it was like crimes against humanity and all that, right, Mike Phillip? Yeah. So, but here you are. All these years later, being anti-Russia.
I agree with the embassy. Carter should have been stronger.
You agree with the embassy? It's a building.
I agree that the embassy takeover was a horrible thing.
Oh, the takeover.
The students took over the embassy.
The students, they're not terrorists. You're a propagandist. You are the reason we went to war in Iraq.
Oh my goodness! I did. Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, I think you did. I think it's you. What's her name?
No.
In the Clinton White House that didn't allow the CIA to talk to the FBI.
Right.
What's her name?
What do you mean?
The woman in Clinton's Justice Department that built a wall between CIA and FBI. And when CIA knew about the hijackers, you call them students, I think. Do you call the 19 hijackers students also?
No, I call them a commando raid.
A commando raid?
Commando raid.
How about a terrorist? Is it a terrorist attack?
Commando raid.
Are they commandos or terrorists?
They can be both, Chris.
They can be both commandos and terrorists?
Yes, because the tactic was really a suicide commando raid.
Yeah, it's a murderous.
The wall. Okay, you want me to explain the wall?
No,
you want to explain that?
It's Jamie Gorelick. You mean Jamie Gorelick? Now, Mike, you're a lot of fun, but you're really off the rails today.
No, they misunderstood. They didn't want Intel to contaminate their prosecution. That didn't mean they couldn't talk to each other.
Yeah, Jamie Gorelick built a wall.
Because they didn't.
That's what the 9/11 Commission found.
No.
It's in the report.
I read the book too, Chris. I read the dang 9/11 report.
Don't curse. You almost cursed there.
No, I didn't.
I heard you almost. You almost cursed. You didn't curse. You almost did.
I did.
I felt it. It was coming.
Chris. Okay. No, Chris.
All right, Mike the Lib. You're a lot of fun. Do you drink alcohol, Mike?
No, I don't drink alcohol.
See, I
at all.
thought
My
that
father
might
was
be the
an
case.
Alcoholic.
You say what?
My father was an alcoholic. I do not drink alcohol.
Okay,
no.
all right. Have you considered starting?
No.
No? Okay. All right, Mike. And your title is what? Retired analyst?
Retired analyst Mike.
Retired analyst Mike. And I like Mike the Lib better. It's more descriptive. All right, Mike the Lib. Thank you. Thank you for the Friday call. I really enjoyed it. We had Jerome yesterday. We have Mike the Lib today. Did you hear Jerome yesterday, Mike? Did you? You did. I can tell. He heard. He ran away. That's pretty good stuff. Pretty crazy. All right, what we have? What do we? We got a couple of great pieces of audio and they're wonderful callers. I can see they're wonderful callers on the line. Mike the Lib is Friday Entertainment and all that. Yeah. Well, let's do the. It's Maryland in the State House, where a Democrat has introduced a Democrat man has introduced a bill in the Maryland State House that would require the placement of tampons, the lady hygienic products, in men's rooms. And I thought we had litigated this already with the Democrat Party years ago, and that this had gone by the wayside, but apparently not, because the dim-witted Democrats, in Maryland, this man allegedly, he's got facial hair and stuff. And although I saw a bearded lady the other day, she had a good beard. She was another tranny, mentally ill, maybe self-immolating soon. So we do have a big march here tomorrow, the anti-Trump march. But it's not even a No Kings thing. What are they calling it? Is it No Kings? But Trump must go. It's remove the regime. That's it. They might self-immolate on the mall. We should put cameras up. It's because I'm just an optimistic person. That's me. So I'd like to see a live feed of that. All right, now let's go to the dim-witted. Where's that? Because here is a Democrat man and a Republican woman in the Maryland State House in Annapolis. We keep the U.S. Naval Academy very close to the State House there. You can see the dome from here and the dome from there. So Republican Maryland delegate, and her name is Jessie Pippy. Oh, I apologize. 13 is what I'm thinking of. So, but we're doing 12, right? So let's, I apologize. Republican Maryland delegate Jessie Pippy, Pippy. Sounds like a very nice person. The tampons for men's room because Democrats are mentally ill.
Would we have to put these in the men's bathroom back here?
Yes, this is a public bathroom in a state building.
Oh, okay. I'll just have to figure out what size to use. But thank you for answering that question.
Just have to figure out what size to use, because it turned out that this Democrat put in the and Ken Kerr is the Democrat. Kerr. Oh, there he is there. Ken Kerr is the Democrat. He's allegedly a man, and he wants to make sure that all state-owned buildings have tampons in the men's room, and it started pretty good then. Baltimore County Republican delegate, here she is. This is Kathy Zaliga. Kathy Zaliga, or it's Kathy Zaliga Kerr. Yeah, no, that's versus Kerr. I apologize. This is the way I'm reading it. All right. So here it is, Baltimore County Republican delegate Kathy Zaliga talking to this dim-witted Democrat, a delegate named Ken Kerr, who wants to put tampons in all men's rooms in state-controlled buildings.
Menstrual hygiene products means appropriately sized tampons. What are appropriately sized tampons?
That's in his legislation.
I've never heard of such a thing. What do you consider appropriate?
It just means that tampons are offered. There's no specific size.
Well, apparently there's 4 different sizes, so which one would you like them to use?
Just a regular sized tampon in the bathroom.
Okay, maybe it should say that and not appropriately sized tampon. Now, is this going in all bathrooms, men's and women's?
Yes.
Yes. And this guy with, I guess you have to call it a straight face, right? Because what else would you call it? Could be a trans face. You say that with a trans face? Ken Kerr is a Democrat, and he's an elected official, a member of the House of Delegates in the state of Maryland, which used to be such a proud state. And he's insisting, and then everybody, the audience was laughing at him. The members were laughing at him. Can I say members in this context? Because the 4 sizes of tampons in the men's room, and he's going to have to go back and do a little more research. If it were Baltimore, they'd have to make them 9mm size, for gunshot wounds, for the bullet holes, because there are a lot of Democrats up there. membership in the Democrat Party is a mental illness. Got Bob Costas coming up, too. Yes, sir. And it's Friday. Friday here in America. Democrats are marching tomorrow, goose-stepping around the country. Ja, meine Schatzi. You remember Bob Costas? Bob Costas, a longtime sports guy, and I think always a very well-liked sports broadcaster. He's a Democrat, and he would self-describe as a liberal, and I think he's had a lot of plastic surgery on his face. And he lives on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. He accidentally called me on my cell phone one day when I was driving in my car, and I had a funny conversation with him. And I still have his phone number in my phone just because I'll tell that story another day. But let's get back to Bob Costas, because Bob Costas, he was on CNN, and they're talking about the fact that the Olympics now, and the lady who's the president of the International Olympic Committee, her name is Christy Coventry, and she's come out and said, and she's a former Olympic athlete herself, and she said, well, we're going to have men compete only against men and women compete only against women. Bob Costas.
Common sense is not transphobic.
Nor is it common.
There's a reason why the high school champions don't compete with the college champions. There is a reason why no trans man who was once a woman and has become a man has ever competed successfully with men in the Olympics. If Caitlin Clark could play in the NBA, everybody would applaud it. That'd be an incredible thing. But if the last guy on the bench of an NBA team went to the WNBA and started averaging 40 points a game, everyone would know that is BS.
That's a lot of bourgeois, as Bob Costas would say. That's true. You notice that nobody is a woman and then says I'm a man and then competes as a man. The Democrats want everything to be co-ed sports. Bob Costas.
It doesn't make any sense to have a swimmer who was the 472nd ranked swimmer when he was a man at Penn, either winning or coming close to winning against women a year and a half after transitioning. If that's what the person wants to do, that person should be treated with dignity and respect. But there ought to be common sense.
Common sense is not common. Hey, listen, have a great American weekend. Look out for loony Democrats.